Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In part 1, we learn what TCP and IP are and how they work together to deliver data. Now, in part 2, we'll break down the 4 layers of TCP IP model, which helps us to understand how data moves through our network from your device all the way to the internet and back. So let's get started. What is TCP/IP model? The TCP/IP model is the foundation of modern networking and it has only 4 layers: application layer, transport layer, internet layer, network access layer. And we will learn all these 4 layers one by one with the examples. First we have application layer. Application layer is the first layer and it directly interact with the users and applications, and it includes high level protocols used by the applications to communicate over the network. So application layer is where user directly interact with the network. It provides service to the apps like web browsing, email clients and file transfer tool. For examples, these are some common protocols which is used at application layer. First is HTTP and HTTPS for web browsing, SMTP for email sending, FTP for file transfer, and DNS for resolving the domain names like google.com to IP address. So every time you browse and email and download, you are using this layer. So next one is a transport layer. This layer manages how data is delivered between two devices. It manages reliable or unreliable delivery of data between devices, and its key protocol is TCP and UDP. TCP for reliable and connection oriented, and its example is web browsing and email, while UDP is unreliable but it is a faster and it is a connectionless, so it is used in video streaming and gaming. And this layer is responsible for segmentation, breaking the data into chunks, and port numbers, identifying apps, services with the help of port numbers, and flow control, acknowledgements and retransmission. So transport layer breaks the data into chunks, which is called a segment, and it assigns the port numbers for identifying apps and services. For example, port number 80 is used for HTTP and port number 443 is for HTTPS. And also it does a flow control, acknowledgements and retransmission. In TCP, it gives a reliable delivery of data, so that's why if a packet is lost, so it will retransmit that packet. Next we have internet layer. It handles the addressing and routing of data packets across the network. So this layer is responsible for logical addressing, means IP address, and routing. And its core protocols is IP Internet Protocol, which assigns the addresses and routes the packets across the network, and ICMP for ping and error message, and ARP to resolve the IP to MAC address. ARP is Address Resolution Protocol, which resolves the IP addresses to MAC address. जब हमें IP address पता है but we don't know MAC address of the device, so we will use ARP. And the internet layer is responsible for logical addressing and packet forwarding and routing. Next we have a network access layer, also called as a link layer, and this is the bottom layer of the TCP/IP model, and it handles how data physically sent over the medium like cable, Wi-Fi, etc. It is responsible for MAC addressing, framing, error detection, physical transmission on the network. So this layer is responsible for MAC addressing, which means physical address, and framing, which is done in switch, error detection, and physical transmission on the network. So basically this layer combines the first and second layer of the OSI model, data link layer and physical layer. So it includes Ethernet, Wi-Fi and drivers and NIC, network interface card. So basically this is related to hardware and switches. Next we have TCP/IP model versus OSI model. This is a comparison table. Okay, so OSI model has a 7 layers while TCP/IP has only 4 layers. Application layer, presentation layer and session layer of the OSI model is merged application layer of the TCP/IP model, and transport layer is in the OSI model is the same transport layer in the TCP/IP model. Network layer is the same as a TCP/IP model, but it calls as a internet layer in the TCP/IP, and data link layer plus physical layer is equal to network access layer in the TCP/IP model. So it is look like this. These are all 7 layers of the OSI model, but the upper 3 layers, application layer, presentation layer and session layer, is merged one single layer, application layer in TCP/IP model, and transport layer is the same as the OSI model in TCP model, and network layer is also the same, but its name is changed, internet layer in TCP/IP model, and data link layer and physical layer, they are merged and make the network access layer. Let's quickly summarize what we learned in this video. Application layer, which talks to the user apps like with the help of HTTP, DNS and FTP protocols. Transport layer, which ensures reliable delivery and unreliable delivery with the help of TCP and UDP protocols. Third is internet layer, which finds the path with the IP routing addressing. And fourth is network access layer, which deals with the actual transmission of data, really sends the data over the network physically. Each layer plays an important role and features to deliver your data to the correct destination. So the TCP is simpler, and that's why it is more commonly used in real world networks. If this helped you understand TCP/IP, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and comment below if you want me to cover any specific topic. See you in the next video.